Hey Broadway World TV, this is Eddie Varley. We're about to talk to Ron Sharpe, the executive producer and the man behind the passion of putting A Tale of Two Cities on Broadway. Let's get started to find out how this Dickens classic made it to the Great White Way.
The time is upon us. We fight now or never. We're lighting a fire. They'll remember forever. We go to the Bastille, a symbol of terror. We'll swing the gates open. We'll lead them to freedom. We'll show them the way.
I'm here with the man behind it all, the man with a vision and a passion to bring A Tale of Two Cities to Broadway. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Sharpe.
Once upon a time, a girl with moonlight in her eyes. No.
He was an actor too, everybody, in such
I'm used
hits
to
as
singing
Les
when
Mis.
they say go. I'm not used to producing, but this has been a sheer joy. It really has. It was 9 years ago that we first met Jill and listened to her music and decided to make the leap to buy the rights to see if we could put this on Broadway. And it is an amazing process to get here, and we've learned a lot on the other side of the table this time. So it's been a blast.
You go so way back with it. I know we talked about the readings after when you were in Les Mis yourself, and some of the cast members would come over and everybody would sit down and this started. Just give me a little bit of that history, a recap of that, as it first began, how you started putting all the pieces together.
Well, we first bought the rights. I knew I needed a marketing tool to help raise money, so we first started to create the concept CD. And I was in Les Mis at the time, obviously, as an actor, and I was creating a concept CD that really embodied what I felt was great about Les Mis, was the passion, was the large, big, powerful songs, and a powerful story. And
amazing characters like you have in this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say in some ways the actors in this show have even a step above the Phantom and the Les Mis actors, because not only are they great singers, but they have to be great actors as well. You know, in Les Mis everything is sung. So we could hire someone from the opera world who really has no training and they could do just fine in Les Mis. But in this show they stop and they have to, sometimes be very funny and then sing a high A, and that's not easy to find.
That is not easy to do.
Working hard is a curse.
Earns a man an early hearse.
Slaving day and night, no way to lighten my load.
Why should we all work an honest job when it's easier to cheat and rob?
Let some law-abiding simple slob take the high road. There's just no other way.
Learning how to fundraise was really the biggest challenge, just figuring out how do you get people to invest in a Broadway show. So we did a lot of history on Broadway shows.
Give me some little
Someone
ideas.
Do you have your wallet on you? I'll give you the whole thing.
I'm now the producer.
Well, I'll tell you, in the history of movies, only 2 movies have sold $1 billion worth of tickets, Lord of the Rings 3 and Titanic, both which cost $500 million to make. But in the last 20 years, with about 10 Broadway shows done each year, I would say there's close to 20 of them that have sold $1 billion worth of tickets.
Phantom is the biggest, I think, grossing entertainment
property,
ever.
Yes.
Yeah, property ever.
Maybe Star Wars beats them out because my son plays the video games too.
I do too.
But as an entertainment property, Phantom is terrific. And I had heard a story about how Disney came to Broadway, where Lloyd Webber and Michael Eisner were talking, and Michael Eisner was really excited about a film that was going to bring in $75 million in sales, and Lloyd Webber had said what Phantom made, and Michael Eisner went, maybe we should try that too. And as you can see now, most of the large shows are brought in by corporations and movie houses, and with ours, we're kind of a homegrown, New Jersey people that aren't very wealthy, that just had a dream and found 200 people from outside the industry to believe in us and believe in the show. Is fast-paced.
Yeah.
And we have 55 scene changes in our show, which are amazing. We have over 800 light changes. I think we have over 300 automation cues. I mean, this is a large show. I mean, Robert Nolan, who's my company manager, was the company manager on Les Mis and Phantom, and said this show is bigger than those shows. And the size of the cast and the size of the orchestra, we could have done it with less people, but we said if we're going to do it, we want people to come in and say this was worth a $110 ticket, because that's what Broadway costs now.
And the story demands it too. You're telling the story the way it really was supposed to be told, because you're dealing with a time when there was everything going on. There was a change, a revolution, and these characters are at the thick of it.
How could you leave without a word? this to your own. Go out alone to save a stranger, a distant memory.